Worship as a way of life. Going through Louis Giglio's book, Wired for a Life of Worship, brings us to that point. Which one do you prefer? I ask you these questions, okay? Would you prefer a dad who tells you how important you are, or a dad who actually shows up to important stuff in your life? Would you prefer friends that remind you often of your flaws, or friends who are there for you when you need them the most and they never stab you in the back? Do you prefer a significant other who makes you really cool homemade cards telling you that you're the best, or one who respects you, keeps your trust, and keeps anything bad from happening between the two of you? Would you prefer someone who tells you how special you are, or someone who shows you? If you're anything like me, the answer is both. Because I want words and actions, and I'd assume that you're the same way. Well, God is not really any different. And the worship that He is after is a both kind of worship. He wants your words and He wants your actions. We see this in two primary words that are used to describe worship in the New Testament. And Jesus used one with the Samaritan woman by the well that we covered, I don't know, maybe last week or the week before. This word we translate as worship is all about an attitude of honor and reverence. It means to bow down before or to kiss the hand of like a king, but to show reverence and to show fear even in worship. The second worship word has a much less glamorous sort of meaning to it. It simply means to serve. And it's what Paul uses in Romans 12:1 and 2. He's begging us, saying, in view of God's mercy, offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. Wow. Paul declares, he says that this is your spiritual act of worship, or what that literally means, your spiritual act of service, serving God. He's basically saying this: if you've seen God's mercy, if you've seen the cross, then offer all of who you are to God in response to all that He's done. If you really understand the cross, you really understand what Christ has done for you, then offer your life back to Him for what He has done for you. This type of full-out worship, in the form of serving, is not usually what we consider to be worship. When we think about worship, serving is not the thing that comes to our mind. But in God's eyes, worship equals serving in every single part of our lives. What can we do? Here's the question. Because think about it. God has revealed something so great to us that is beyond words. It's indescribable. What He has done on our behalf makes it impossible for us to ever repay Him. Do you understand that? So what is it that we can do? Because there is something that we can do in return, and it's something that we must do. And it's to give Him everything that we have through a life of service to Him and to those that are around us. That's what it means when we say worship is a way of life. I think we've cheated God for far too long. We've told Him how great He is over and over again, thinking that He'll be content with just that. We don't seem to care if those words are genuine, and nor do we care if our life backs up those words. We just say them and don't worry about the rest. But words come easy, don't they? Saying and singing those words to God can even make us feel a little bit better, so it's easy just to say those things. But God isn't honored by our words alone. Just like you and I, God is moved by our words that are authenticated by action. They come alive through action. That He knows our heart by our action, not just by our words. It's the total package that matters in worship. It's what you say, it's how you say it, and it's whether you really mean it. Always remember that our words mean most when they're amplified by the way that we choose to live our lives. Worship is, here's our definition, our response, both personal and corporate, to God for who He is and for what He's done, expressed in and by the things we say and the way that we live. Yeah, go and do that with your life, with everything that you have. Worship Him through action, through serving.